Hello and welcome back to an exclusive for Patreon video of the series Real Life Monsters I am sharing for the month of October. If you missed the last 3 videos, there are 2 available and in a playlist on YouTube, so check those out. And then this is going to be the 4th video in the series, but the 2nd exclusive for Patreon. Today we are going to cover a different kind of monster, but very much a real one. And it's the case of Alissa Marie Mccrann. This is another case here in Oregon. And if you ever seen a picture of the state of Oregon, you probably know where this happened. And as I always say it funny, but it's the Multnomah Falls. That is that very tall bridge where you can see waterfall, super tall waterfall in the background, and one of the places I want to visit. However, this is a very popular attraction, and lots of tourists visit. It's a hike to get there, and I think that is the appeal for most of us who want to visit. Now, this happened right before Christmas. Well, December 19th of the year 2015. It was a Saturday, and Alissa, who at the time was 37 years old and from Portland, Oregon, she disappeared while on a run near the falls. She was by the Columbia Gorge. If you don't know, the Columbia River divides Washington from Oregon. And again, it's a beautiful, fresh air area to go run. If you're wondering what Alissa was doing there, well, Portland, it's only 30 minutes away from where she was. It took 5 years after her disappearance to find her car, but they were never able to find her. Now, what happened to Alissa? Her plan was to go run near the Multnomah Falls. So she left her home in the Powellhurst Gilbert neighborhood in Portland and drove to Franklin Ridge Loop Trail. Her car was a Mazda CX-7. And that's what she drove there. In the Columbia River Gorge, I should add, east of Troutdale, between Corvette and Dodson, Multnomah Falls is a waterfall, again located on Multnomah Creek. The hike she chose, Franklin Ridge Loop hike, it's a wonderful area, I've heard, because you kind of see the waterfalls and the creek, but it's also very quiet, and you can enjoy some solitude. It is also kind of a middle of the way hike. There are some very strenuous hikes in this area. Now, Alissa lived with her parents, who are Korean, and she also had a 13-year-old son. When the news broke, nobody was able to confirm or deny if she had any mental or physical health problems. But it all started when she didn't show up for work on Monday, December the 21st. After that, she was notified to the authorities and reported as missing. It's a concert here. When they searched her record, her phone record, it was noted, I have a goat that is in heat. She's screaming at the boys. And I'm so sorry. Hopefully she'll settle down. Now back to the case. On the 19th, the day that she went for her hike, her cell phone was used for the last time at around 10 a.m. And it was a Facebook post. After that, all the calls went directly to voicemail. It is estimated that the phone last been on Cascade Avenue and Tigard, I don't know, approximately 45 minutes away from the falls. I feel like I need to explain this because everyone, including myself, believes that the cell phone signal now in 2022, it's everywhere, and it took me moving to the state of Oregon, the Oregon coast, most visited beaches in the summer, to realize that no, cell phone service, it's a luxury around here, and unless you live in town, chances are you're not getting a signal. Douglas firs and myrtles and different varieties of trees that are so tall, so long that it's almost like touching the sky. And the amount of them being so close together really make a barrier between the cell signal and your phone. So there are some spots, like my favorite hike, it's at Cape Sebastian. It's on 101. There are two trails. I think the one to the right is 2.6 miles. And the one to the left is 5.6 miles. Don't quote me on that. But that hike, if you turn left, you walk through the woods by the beach, because the woods are by the beach. You're in a mountain going up and down, and the hike ends at the beach. All that to say that there's amazing cell phone service there, despite being in a mountain, going up and down, same tall trees. Don't know why, but if you're going on a hike, chances are you won't have cell service, and if you do, it's a miracle. I always believe that you don't get cell service because the hikes are so out of this world beautiful. The God decided that you could only experience it yourself without looking down on your phone. I can only describe the feeling, the looks, the smells, but it takes you personally to do one of these trails, to take it all in and feel so small in such a majestic place. So that is why her phone been 45 minutes away from the falls. It is very likely that there was no service available during the hike. Now, Alyssa's 2011 Mazda CX-7 was found parked in the Multnomah Falls parking lot on December 22nd, around 3 p.m. On that Saturday afternoon, a couple that were walking near the falls reported seeing a woman they believed to be Alissa. She was wearing running clothes and shoes. She didn't have food or water or any gear suitable for cold weather. But it got really cold, and apparently she started running down the trail. The couple briefly talked to her and advised her to head back to the car. When she disappeared, over 100 searchers looked through 150 miles of trails. They focused on Franklin Ridge, but no trace of her was found. To add to the harsh search, the almost impossible search through the wilderness, there was over a foot of fresh snow at the higher elevations, which hampered the access to the gorge. They brought dogs, but they failed to detect any scent. Pilots flew over the area, but nothing. Eventually, on Thursday, December 24th, 2015, the search was suspended. But not before Portland Police Bureau's Missing Person Unit and a wilderness doctor from OHSU Hospital consulted with the sheriff's office. Eric Ledecky, one of Alyssa's friend, described Alissa as an upbeat, friendly person. She was described as helpful and never expecting anything in return. She was described as a good person. On Saturday, January 23rd, 2016, the search began again. At that point, it was not a search, but a recovery mission. Some 60 volunteers participated, but nothing was found. After the weekend search, once it was over, the Facebook page dedicated to find her posted this update. Quote, "Even though we did not find her, it felt wonderful to know the community has not forgotten Alissa. Such an amazing outpouring of love and support. Again, all my love and respect goes out to the teams that helped orchestrate this latest search. They had a lot of manpower above the falls today, and hopefully the next search is the one that brings her home. We really miss her. Sadly, no trace of Alissa has been found 5 years after she disappeared. The timing of her running in December at such a late hour when dark would soon fall is very weird, especially for an experienced runner in Oregon. Was hypothermia the cause of her running off trail and seeking shelter? Maybe that's why they can't find her. Did she plan to intentionally disappear despite her 13-year-old son? If you're wondering if she had financial problems or mental disorders, she didn't. In the end, it was confirmed. This is one of the strangest disappearances, and it still remains a mystery. When I read about Alyssa's case, I also read about some crazy out there theories of what could have happened to her, from never seen before monsters like Bigfoot, which is a big thing here in the Pacific Northwest, for some alien abductions, meeting somebody in the trail. And despite my inability to discredit any of these theories, nothing in concrete was found. Nobody that hiked at the same time other than this couple was ever recorded in the area. Could she have gone and met somebody there? It's possible, but without leaving a trace, that's unlikely, according to the authorities. So this invisible monster took away somebody that was seemingly living a good life, was in a good family that loved her, had a son who loved her, had not, she wasn't struggling with money or the IRS following her. She worked at a dairy. So, what is your theory? I have to say that this could be explained as a bad choice, bad judgment. It is dangerous in that part of Oregon, in the mountains, during the winter. Why would an experienced runner put herself in that situation with no gear, no winter clothing? It seems like if it was a new person to this kind of activity, it would explain not being ready for the environment, for the hike. But if you are experienced, then you know better. And you prepare or have a plan B, C, and D, because you know how harsh conditions can get. It only takes for you to do a few hikes to learn a few things about what you like and what you don't like, what you need and what you don't need to take with you. So yeah, put yourself in that situation seems like a bad idea, but in the end, this is an unsolved mystery. Because if somebody hurt her, if a human got a hold of her, committed the perfect crime, and if she, for whatever reason, decided to do it to herself, to make this decision to put herself in harm's way, then it proves to us that sometimes the worst kind of monsters lives inside our heads and can put us in real danger without even trying. The obsession with people and their weed eaters blows my mind. But thankfully, this case is now over. Where is she? Did her own monsters take her away? Is this the perfect crime? I'd like to know what you think about this. I hope you're enjoying this series and that this was a break of some of the gruesome monsters and scenes you've been listening throughout the series, and thanks again for your support, for coming back, for your kind words. Truly appreciate it. You have